Good evening, everyone. You're watching the Cheese Room podcast, YouTube edition, but this is also going out through the podcast tonight. So welcome, everybody, if you're watching at home or watching on catch-up. Just going to quickly say hi to everyone. Joined this evening by Shannon. How are you, Shan? You all right? Enjoy that?
Yeah, I'm good. That was very enjoyable to watch. It's nice to actually watch Spurs and feel quite entertained by it, which makes a change. So yeah, good result.
I love it when watching Spurs is not stressful, which is like not very often at all. Steve, Mr. Diver, the accountant, is joining me tonight. How are you, Steve? Are you well?
Well, I'm not well. I have COVID or man flu. I don't know what's more dangerous, but I'm going to go with man flu, I think. Yeah, I'm good. It was entertaining. Dare I say it? Entertaining. Who thought football could be entertaining after a last year we've had? But it's a good game.
Well, I thoroughly enjoyed it. It's always a pleasure to watch Spurs win, especially at home in a packed stadium, a big European night, and hopefully we'll have at least one of those to look forward to at some point this season. So, Shan, were you surprised by the strength of team we put out tonight? So Harry Kane made captain for the night, and looked like he was pleased to be back in front of his home fans, maybe in a half-empty stadium. More pleased about that. Were you surprised at the strength of team we put out tonight?
No, I wasn't surprised. I thought Nuno would go quite strong just to make sure we get the job done. I was surprised though at the strength of the subs that he brought on. I thought get the job done in the first half, bring on some kids. But no, he brought on Sonny, Højbjerg, Dele, Bergwijn. So yeah, I was surprised at the subs he brought on.
It was a bit surprising, the strength of that starting 11. Steve, Kane leading the line as captain. Were you a bit surprised to see that? I thought he'd come back into the fray against Watford at the weekend, but straight in for this big fixture, if you can call it that, was Mr. Kane. Were you a bit surprised about that or expected it?
Pretty much expected it. I mean, we had to win the game. We obviously lost first leg. I think everybody's downplaying the competition, but if we win it and we've got first leg aside, we do have a realistic chance of winning it, and it could be silverware. We couldn't muck around. Kane hasn't played much football. Get him fit for Watford. Why not? Although he did look, I don't know if anybody else noticed, he looked curiously tanned. That extra week in Florida must have done him a world of good.
Yeah, well, he was apparently at the chairman's boss's villa, wasn't he, Shan? So, maybe this was the case. Maybe he's innocent all along, and we all got it wrong. But he got a great reception tonight from the fans in the stadium, didn't they? They were singing the One of Your Own song again, and he applauded them at one point. And at the end of the game, when he went off as a substitute, he got a good ovation, didn't he, from the crowd? Were you surprised about that, or do you think now all is forgiven and that's it, we move on?
No, I'm not surprised by that at all. As football fans, we're all very fickle, aren't we? I mean, I'm still a little bit disappointed in how he behaved, but he looks like he's banging in the goals. He looked happy that he was scoring. He has a smile on his face again. He's applauding the fans, and I think he's on the road to redemption, that's for sure. I was surprised that he was captain, though. I will say that.
It was a little bit surprising and quite clearly designed to be a vote of confidence from the gaffer to Mr. Kane, showing him how important he is to the side. And it'll be interesting to see how loud the stadium is at the weekend. I'm sure there's going to be possibly the loudest rendition ever of He's One of Our Own, I would expect. And hopefully we'll all be there. I think we were all there this weekend, supping a few one of our own pints, potentially. Exciting to get back to the stadium, Steve. This will be your first game against Watford, won't it? You must be thrilled.
Yeah, first game back. So missed first two. I won't be drinking that particular pint. I think it's absolutely rancid. Although, true story, I was the first fan in the stadium to have a pint of it.
Really?
And I drank half of it, so I thought it was absolutely piss. But so maybe not the good one to taste. But
Well, you're normally quaffing champagne anyway, aren't you?
Sometimes I do get into the gin and tonics later on, but it'll be good to get back. Yeah, I can see a few people commenting about not quite forgiving Kane. Yeah, I don't quite forgive him either. I think his behaviour was out of order, was unprofessional. But at the end of the day, the only thing I care about is the club. The only thing I care about is the result the club gets in each and every game. So if on Sunday I have to cheer him, and kind of encourage him on, I'll do that because that's all I care about.
Well, and that's all I care about, to be honest. Let's get the team on the pitch, winning, and get back into that top four, so we don't have to play Mickey Mouse competitions, right? However, having said all of that, let's break down the game. So I think the thing that impressed me most about Kane's first goal, and I can't believe I'm saying this, was Harry Winks' play. Brilliant tackle and a beautiful pass over the top to Hill. Shan, what did you make of Winks' performance tonight? I'll let you take it away rather than me talk about it, because I'll find it too difficult and emotional to talk about.
I know that must have been very painful for you to say, caller. So don't worry, we're all here for you in the cheese room. I'm sure it's a very tough time for you. Yeah, I thought he had a good game. He did everything that he needed to do. From what I saw, he didn't have any Harry Winks moments. Obviously, really good tackle to get the ball going forward for the first goal. So yeah, hopefully, if he can carry on like this, then we've got a good player on our hands.
Can I just say I don't want him anywhere near the first team this season, and I think he's found his level in the Europa Conference League. But I can't deny that first goal; he absolutely did the business. Steve, anything on Winks from you? Do you see him as playing much this year, or will he be more utilised for this sort of competition, Carling Cup, that kind of thing?
I mean, I hope not. Like, he's not. He's clearly not good enough. He had a decent game tonight. He had a couple of good moments. A lead up to the first goal. Yep, great tackle, great ball. He gave the ball away a lot. He tried to ping some long kind of Toby style passes, which I don't think one of them came off. He's just not a good enough player for us. So I'm hoping we see very little of him.
Yep, me too. Let's move on. So Hill, who actually squared the ball back, the final ball into the box for Kane, which was a fantastic ball. And I thought his play, by the way, all night, I mean, we can see why we swapped him for Lamella and a boatload of money, really, even though Lamella is tearing up the league where he is now. I've got to say, I thought Hill was excellent today. Shan, what a really good, and what was his home debut, I guess. Really good performance, I thought, all round. Any comment from you? What did you make of him? I mean, firstly, the goal was a lovely little pullback, wasn't it? But he was doing that all night.
Yeah, well, I mean, there's a reason he's one of the most highly rated young talents in Europe, and he's been called up to the Spain squad at the age of 20. Definitely looked the business tonight. I'm so gutted with all the chances that he had that he didn't get a goal for himself tonight, because I really think he deserved it. Yeah, lovely ball into Kane for the first goal. Obviously, a bit disappointed that he got a yellow that weren't a yellow. I think he won the ball fair and square, but slightly tainted his home debut. But I think brilliant. If Harry Kane hadn't have bagged 2 goals, he would have been man of the match for me.
Absolutely. Steve, impressed by Hill?
Yeah, I'm in love with him already. I mean,
you sound really impressed by him.
I do. No, he had a cracking game, didn't he? Yeah, he looked dangerous. He looked exciting. Like, we all go to football, yes, to see us win games, but we also want to be entertained. And it goes back to the entertaining point. He's an exciting player to watch. And if I were in Watford's defence, I wouldn't want to be playing him this weekend.
Yeah. Well, I hope he gets in the starting lineup. I mean, at the moment, it's difficult to, where he's going to put in. Would you put him in for Lucas, maybe? What do you say, Shan? Where does he fit into this side?
I think if he comes in for anyone, it'll be Lucas, but I think it'll be Lucas that'll get dropped for Kane. So then you're looking at it and you think, are you going to take Bergwijn out? And Bergwijn looked to have a good game when he came on as well, and he was very good against Wolves. So I think if we do see him this weekend, it will be as a sub. But I'm really looking forward to seeing him in the Premier. I'm really looking forward to seeing him in the Premier League and seeing what he can do.
Absolutely, he seems to have great balance. That's what I would say about him. Like, he's so quick between his feet. Really, really, really good sort of balance on the ball. I think you don't know which way he's going to go, and that throws defenders left, right, and centre. He's a player that Spurs have come to sort of love over the years. We love these flair style players. So let's hope we see him in the Premier League really soon, representing the badge, the cock on the chest.
But constantly, going back to him real quick, he constantly got fouled, constantly won us free kicks all over the pitch. So that's a really good sign. Although hopefully he doesn't go the Jack Wilshere route of winning a lot of free kicks and then getting injured for the rest of his life. But he also has a tackle on him. He made a couple of really good tackles. So he looks like a kind of, he looks like a solid buy.
Yeah, absolutely, he does. And Lo Celso, obviously. Oh my God, we've been hijacked. Sweaty, Franco. You just run.
I ran back to get the train, and then I just jumped in the shower quickly. So come and join the party.
It's beads of water, not sweat. Thank God for that.
Yeah.
How was the atmosphere tonight, Franco? I didn't hear the number of how many people were in the stadium. Do you know how many it was in the end?
It's probably better atmosphere than Man City by far, I'd say. No, it was pretty quiet. I mean, like, Kane got a really good cheer when he was introduced, and then obviously when he scored, it went off then as well. But yeah, generally it was a bit quiet, wasn't it? I had plenty of space. I was basically socially distanced. I could get that much space. It was amazing.
Wow, that's good.
And move around. I sat in about 4 different seats. It was nice.
Oh, right. So you've sort of almost completed
super
the game.
spreader.
I tried to get into diver's seat, but they wouldn't let me.
But half of them are blocked off at the moment, so
yeah, don't start him from that, Franco. He's very salty about the fact that he might get moved.
Yeah, very.
Second goal came from pressing much higher at the pitch. So Lo Celso's tenacity really, sort of, I think, won that goal. Shan, what was your view of that goal? And again, Kane, Johnny on the spot to finish with a lovely couple of touches and finish. But Lo Celso made it. Your view?
Yeah, I think Lo Celso played a big part in that, and Harry Kane just has a knack for being in the right place at the right time. He's just such a natural goal scorer, and he's 9 times out of 10 he's going to be there. But yeah, Gio made that for me, and I think he had a really good game. So hopefully this will be the start of him having a really good season for us, because I think we really need an on-form Gio in the squad at the minute.
Yeah, absolutely. Franco, were you in the stadium in the flesh, impressed with him? Did he stand out to you tonight? He seemed to be everywhere.
I think he grew into it as well. I was a bit concerned to start with that only him and Winks in the middle. But I thought Winks started off brightly, and then as he faded, I thought Lo Celso took over in a more sort of attacking sense. So yeah, it was good. We were trying plenty of those balls in between the fullback and the centre-back to either Cess or Doherty or whoever else was out there. And, a few times it worked out. He had a few good balls on him. And him and Winks, I thought, did quite well against, fairly timid opposition tonight, weren't they?
Yeah, they certainly weren't exactly the most vivacious opposition we've had to play. However, we should have shut their social media team up and, won Chirpy's sort of honour back, hopefully, after knocking them out. I think I was rather upset about seeing him dry humped by the...
Well, at least they didn't turn him into Nando's, I suppose. There is a shortage of chicken at the moment. They could have been desperate.
I didn't even know there was a shortage of chicken. That's great, Franco. So, half-time cruising 2-0. Were you worried, Steve? Did you think at any point, Pacos might come back into this, or were you just chilled?
Pretty chill. They had a couple of opportunities, fine, but I think we had control of the game. I was more worried about the inevitable Spursy thing happening of Son getting injured when he came on, or Kane picking an injury up, or something silly like that. But we looked well in control. I mean, we should have been on the right tab. So yeah, they only had 3 shots on target.
Yeah.
And we could have been well away with the game. He could post twice. Son should have scored 2, probably at least 1. Kane should have scored within the first, or could have scored, I should say.
Yeah.
It was a difficult chance, but could have scored very early on.
Absolutely. The Celso free kick then made it 3-0, calmed the nerves down in the stadium. Franco, did you have a decent view of that, or were you miles away? Did you see? Have you seen a replay?
Wasn't looking. Deadly serious. I was looking at my phone. I was just like, and then I literally saw the second it went in, millisecond. So you put it in a good spot. I can tell you that much.
You put it in. You went, oh yeah, like played along. Shan, did you have a slightly better view of it than that?
I had a lovely view of it from the TV. It was weird how it went in. I'm quite surprised. I don't know if it came off the keeper, but from that angle, I'm amazed he got that in. And can I just say, I'm just so happy to see someone taking free kicks other than Harry Kane, because he is hopeless. If Gio's gonna slot him in from that angle, get him taking free kicks. It was lovely to see us actually take advantage of one. So yeah, props to Gio.
I think Kane's going to be demoted on all fronts this season, isn't he? He's going to try and walk up the ball. Get off it. You've been a bad boy.
Yeah, I can see that happening, especially with the free kicks. Get off.
Yeah.
I think when we bought Gio, there was a lot of talk about his corners and free kicks were like really, really good. But he's obviously been very in and out of the team, so he's never really got a run of games going. Steve, where does he slot in? Who would you put him in for? If he was going to start on Sunday, where would you slot him in the team? Because this is the problem at the moment. That team from the first 2 games looks quite settled, doesn't it?
It does. I don't think I would play him. So for me, he wouldn't slot in.
Okay, but if he was to, where would he fit?
That's a difficult question to answer, given I wouldn't.
Just say Dele's place.
Yeah,
but that's the only place he can go. But Ali's run more than any other player over the first 2 games. He's played really well. He's in form. He's a confidence player, and he seems to have some confidence back.
Yeah. And he's got big strides as well. So when he's running, he really is covering a lot of ground, like a shit ton of ground. Dele, bless him.
Yeah, he's bulked out of it. But yeah, I mean, he'd have to change in for Dele, but I wouldn't do that.
Okay.
What about Skip
Franco,
then?
You what? Sorry, Franco.
Why don't you just change him for Skip then? I guess at the weekend playing against Watford, I think Shan made this point the other day, is that we need to change it up in the midfield when we're playing teams that we're looking to have a go at. So I think one of Skip or Højbjerg could drop out. But then you've got the question as well as out of who, and Lucas or Bergwijn misses out, because Kane's likely to come straight back in, isn't he?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but remember, Watford are probably going to have the GOAT in our midfield come Sunday. So
we can only wish about that.
Please.
We know he's going to score. We know he's going to score. We all know
I
it.
hope my hairdresser's not watching this. He tried telling me Sissoko was a really important key player last time I went for a haircut, which, I did tell him he was joking, but he had a pair of scissors around my ear at the time, so I didn't lean in too heavy. I didn't go too hard on him. But Josh, if you're watching, shit view, mate. Shit view. Sessegnon in the stadium, Franco. I don't know what your view was like. He was up and down. He was very active, trying to get into the box a lot. Did make quite a few mistakes, giving possession away a lot. What's your view on him and where he slots in this season? Is he another one, a bit like Winks, who we can probably expect to see in this kind of competition, but probably won't feature too heavily unless injuries play a part in the league?
Pretty much that, yeah. I just don't know whether he's got the defensive qualities to play as a wing back or not. And today, the wing backs were quite often higher than Lucas and Brian were, weren't they? They were having to come back. And I don't know if I really like the shape too much today. I thought we played quite wide and it left a big gap in the middle and it took a while to get the ball from one end to the other. It was all a bit, I don't know, all a bit too spread out. But I thought that, like I said, the runs that he was making were actually quite good. And the problem is him taking on a man. You see, like Brian's just come in and he's looking to take players on, drop a shoulder, do some tricks. And Cess doesn't really do that enough. I just feel like he's a bit of a straight line player. And he's got pace and he put in a few tackles and stuff. I thought he had a fairly decent game, but he's not impressed once really in a Spurs shirt yet. So he's got a lot to do this season to get near a first team place.
He looks clumsy, doesn't he? He looks really clumsy on the ball, which I'm surprised about because he always looked like a skillful player at Fulham. But for us, I don't quite get it. He doesn't look comfortable on the ball.
It's like his shoes are the wrong size, isn't it, Shan? He's right. Steve's right. I get exactly. I understand that analogy completely because he doesn't look comfortable on the ball. We spent 25 million quid on this kid. It looks like money really badly spent, doesn't it?
Yeah, just like Jack Clark.
Shan, you are pushing it. You are pushing it.
No, he looked like he was just a little bit lost every time you saw him try and do something. He didn't look like he quite knew what he was going to do. And I mean, even Cess had a couple of chances that he could have probably put away, but he just wasn't composed at all tonight. I think he came off first. I think that's probably the right decision. So I think Davies is still ahead of him in that left back spot at the minute.
Yeah,
100%.
I'd agree with you. What I was going to say, Romero, did you see his yellow card? Frank, I'm not going to ask you because you were down the other end of the ground and I guess you didn't see it quite clear. To quote an Arsene Wenger, you didn't see it. Steve, did you see the yellow on that Romero got? I mean, it's possibly up there for worst yellow of the season for my money, but you'll be...
So this is a bit of a Chris Kamara comment. I've got absolutely no idea what you're talking about. The stream did cut out, so the very illegal viewing on my TV did cut out a little bit. So it must have been during then. I didn't see that.
What did you think was bad about it, Caller?
I'm going to go to Shannon because I'm just hoping one of the three saw it apart from me. Shan, did your stream work at that point?
Of course it did.
Yeah.
Never a doubt. Never a doubt. Yeah, no, that was the most ridiculous yellow card I've ever seen. He won the ball. He was advancing up the pitch. The referee it took his time to blow the whistle as well. He was already off and on his way. I must say with Romero as well, I loved how many times he got into the box. The only thing that slightly terrifies me is that leaves Doherty, Davies and Dyer at the back. So if we were to get counter-attacked by anyone half decent and Romero sodded off into the box to try and get a goal or an assist, and you just like, oh no. But yeah, no, that was you can tell he played for Atalanta. He was so progressive with everything he did, and he didn't hardly put a foot wrong for me. I think it was much more solid than he was last week, but he had better players playing around him. So imagine what he can do in a full strength 11.
Yeah.
I just wonder at what point of the season we're going to see him, Franco, because the back two, two centre backs currently are on a little bit of a roll, 2 clean sheets, no issues. Who do you drop, Sanchez or Dyer, and when does Romero come in? I mean, he's clearly our best centre back, I would say, but
Dyer. How can you not drop Dyer? Dyer by name, Dyer by nature. And Franco, Sanchez has actually been all right this season. He's looked okay.
Franco.
It's all right, Steve.
I'm talking on his behalf.
Yeah, Steve can talk for me. That's fine. Either of them, to be honest. But I think what you've said is right. They haven't played badly, either of them. So it's a bit harsh to drop either of them so far. But, the reason we'll drop them is because one of them will make a mistake.
Yeah.
So I guess it's whichever one does that first. But no, he could well play 3 at the back at the weekend. You don't know. There's options with this squad, I guess. But I think he'll either play at the weekend or he'll be in for, who is it after that? Palace away and then Chelsea. So yeah, one of those games. I don't think it'll be too long until he becomes a regular fixture of the squad.
Yeah, I want to see him in there for the Chelsea game at least.
Oh, 100%. I think every defender got absolutely turned over by Lukaku in Serie A last season, except for Chiellini and Romero.
Yeah.
And the thought of Lukaku playing against
Eric
Dyer and Sanchez, as much as they've made a really good start to the season, is absolutely terrifying. So we need Romero in for that, definitely.
Yeah.
We have to take into account, although they've kept 2 clean sheets, City didn't have a striker and still don't. And, Wolves, I mean, they haven't really got anyone up top who's doing the business right now. So I think they've been up against soft opposition up top, certainly. So I think the sooner we get Romero up to speed, for my money, the better. Absolutely. Subs off the bench were a little bit surprising. Were they not? Shan, I thought, is a bit strong, really. He brought Son, Dele, Højbjerg, and Bergwijn on in a game that we were cruising in. I thought it was a little bit over the top, really. But what do you think?
Yeah, I definitely thought that was strange. Like, I've always said that we should take this game seriously, because it would just be an embarrassment if we were knocked out before the group stages have even begun. And even Arsenal would be able to laugh at us then, even though they didn't qualify. So, but yeah, I'm glad we got the business done. But it was very surprising that we went as strong with the substitutes as we did. I thought Dane Scarlett could have come on for a little while instead of Sonny. But I guess it's still the start of the season. A lot of players still need a bit of match fitness, match sharpness. So I sort of understand why he did it, but it did seem a little bit strange because we were completely in control.
It was a little bit odd. Franco, what's your view on that? Same question.
Well, he kind of shored things up, bringing Højbjerg in to start with, didn't he? Because Cess was basically playing as a de facto winger. So taking him off and bringing Højbjerg in, put an extra man in the middle, and that kind of made sense to me. And then, like we said, that the players were just getting 20 minutes just to get a little run out before the weekend. I thought Bergwijn, when he came on, looked really good as well. I thought he had some really good touches. Didn't he hit the post, didn't he, the near post with that shot? Mm-hmm. He looked lively. But yeah, it's just seeing out a game, isn't it, really? And by the time we got 3, they were never going to come back into it, I didn't feel. So it was kind of irrelevant at that point. But at the same time, I would argue the same as Shan. That's the sort of time that you want to see the youngsters come on. So a bit disappointing when you don't in those games. Yeah.
Respect for Nuno, though, Steve. He's taken the competition seriously. One of our podcasters were declaring his man crush on Nuno already. HG. What's your thoughts on the man so far? Has he impressed you, Steve?
Well, we've won 2 in the league. I don't think anybody expected us to win both of the games, so good. We're playing some good football. So, yeah. Sorry, you were asking me if Nuno's impressed me, not HG, yeah? HG's impressed me a little bit less, but Nuno has impressed me. We're back to entertaining football again.
Yeah. Absolutely. You got a comment on that, Franco?
I just feel like that even with all of the drama that's gone on this summer, it's just refreshing that not a lot of it's come from the manager. Do you know what I mean? Because if Jose was in charge, it would have just been at least ×2. And you would have had all sorts of stuff with him going off and comments and blah, blah, blah. So it's just quite nice to have a manager that seems quite humble. It seems like almost a bit back to the Poch days in that sense, which is quite nice. And
don't mention Poch.
And also, but maybe a bit less cryptic than Poch. But also, yeah, the football looks a bit brighter. I mean, there's times when we've played a bit of long ball and it's not been great. But today you could see that against lesser opposition, what we were trying to do, playing with some width, getting balls in and finding the gaps. So, yeah, I think it's progress and I hope that it continues.
Absolutely. And this is the part of the podcast we normally cover, looking ahead to the weekend, I guess, Franco. So sticking with you for a minute, how do you expect we're going to line up against Watford?
Yeah, I don't think there'll be... Well, that's a lie. There will be some change from the last league game. I think that the back line will probably be the same. I don't think Romero will come in, but he easily could do. Apart from that, I think that it'll be back to Skip and Højbjerg in the middle. I mean, potentially again, then, like I said, we could put Lo Celso in instead, but I think he will stick with Skip and Højbjerg just from who's played today. And then up front, it's who loses out of Lucas and Bergwijn, and I don't know who it would be because I think that they've both. I mean, judging by the fact that Lucas played so much today, I would assume that he might get dropped, but he's quite fit, so you don't know. But I would assume that H is coming in. Dele will retain his place, so that'll be it.
Shan, for you, who comes in, who goes out, and what's your sort of prediction against Watford?
I think that the only change we will see is Kane in for Lucas. I don't see Bergwijn. I think Lucas's form has sort of dipped against Wolves, and today I don't think he was as good as he was against City and in pre-season. And Bergwijn seems to be growing in confidence. So I think now would be a silly time to drop Bergwijn when all he needs is that one goal, and I think he'll light it up. So I definitely think the only change we will see is Kane in for Lucas for me.
Yeah. Steve, you've got such a calming voice, apparently. You should be doing sleeping apps.
You should hear me talk about accounting. They really are sleeping apps when I talk about that.
Yeah, you're the man that people go to tell them their business is like down the shitter. But you do it in a really calm way, so they're really chilled out about it. What's your prediction for the weekend and Watford? What are you thinking? Line up and score.
Haven't got much to add on the lineup other than what Shan and Franco have said. On the score, I can see a 2-0. 2-0. I had to think it through.
I've never asked you two. Didn't really give me a score, did you? So, Franco, prediction?
Yeah, I'll go with the 2-0. Can't see why not. I want Kane back on the score sheet and Sonny as well. Yeah,
and Shan?
I'm going to be my usual positive self and go in with a 3-0. We should be beating teams like Watford 3-0 if we want to challenge for top 4. That's what we need to do. So I want to see us go for it. I want to see us being entertaining. I want to again see Kane and Sonny. I really, really want to see Bergwijn on the score sheet. Like, I'm just willing him to score at this point. I think once he gets that goal, it's going to be a whole different player. But yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Looking forward to being there. And yeah, hopefully it's a good result.
Yeah, absolutely. And for me, I don't think anything's going to change apart from Kane coming in for Lucas. I agree with you. I really can't see him changing much or tweaking much. I think there'll be people coming off the bench. I'd like to see him, to be honest. Franco, yeah.
Well, one thing is Sarr is their main danger man so far this season on the right. And I do worry about whether Reggie is defensively strong enough. But he's got the pace to deal with it. And, Davies doesn't. I can't imagine him putting Cess in there. So it's a difficult one. Cess, I can't imagine we'll get him for this. But it just means that Reggie needs to be a bit more disciplined because he's going to do a fair bit of defending, I'd imagine.
Yeah, and Sanchez has got plenty of pace to catch him if Reggie lets him go, I guess. That'd be maybe the theory. But I'm going to predict, I'm going to have what's called an Andy and say 5-0. That's what we're going to do to him.
Jesus.
So please do hopefully send me some congratulations on Twitter when I'm right.
Can
Franco, go on?
Can we just jump on that Sarr link?
The Sarr link. It's not that Sarr.
I know, but the other Sarr,
just
the
jogged his
Sarr
memory.
who it looks like we potentially might be buying.
Yeah.
Who I would say I've seen him a lot. But Franco will just get really angry. Every time we buy a player, Franco gets really angry whenever anybody rates him. So we're not allowed to rate him. So we have to be incredibly neutral.
Steve, listen, I'm going to put this out there on the internet. I don't think it's too much of a precedent to set to say that you have to have watched a footballer play football in order to have an opinion on him. All right? There's no point getting excited just because other people say he's good. All right? That's all.
Mate, I have watched at least 5 minutes of him on YouTube, and he looks really good.
Oh, I love it.
You could make Harry Winks look good on YouTube. So
You
I don't
fucking
think that
couldn't.
says much.
You fucking couldn't.
You literally could, yeah. Just clip a few bits of the Real Madrid game, stick that little tackle and pass he did in tonight. Bob's your uncle, fan is your aunt. Any news on the Ronaldo signing? It wasn't me offering to run naked down Tottenham High Road. It was Shannon. So over to you on that. So, in terms of my prediction, 5-0, and in terms of the podcast side of things, that's us done. Let's just take a few questions and talk a few things, as we've got 114 people watching the show. Please do hit the like button. That really helps get the numbers up and helps us. Franco, do you want to talk about Patreon while you're here, actually? You are the master of the Patreon. It's a great deal. everyone was loving my mug picture tonight, and I sort of hinted there may be something coming soon for patrons. Do you want to just throw out there what we do for our patrons? And if there are patrons watching, as I'm sure there are tonight, thank you very much for your support.
Yeah, no, exactly. We don't do anything spectacularly different to most people. We offer some additional content on our Patreon page, and then we have a Slack chat group, which is exclusive for patrons, where we just basically chat football all day, 24 hours, because there's people around the world. And yeah, it's just a good bunch because they're all cheeseheads. And then on top of that, you get merch, cheesehead merch each year. This year, we voted for a T-shirt, a mug, and so I'm getting those printed up. Yours is actually a special edition, Corley, because you got it made yourself, didn't you? So with a nice blue inside bit.
It's very swanky.
So at some point we'll auction that off.
Yeah, it's limited edition. When I get my new one, maybe I'll just like auction the old one off or something, you know?
Yeah, exactly. But anyway, if you want to get involved, it's only £3 a month. Patreon.com/the Cheese Room Podcast. Get involved.
Get involved. And we do it. I'll tell you the other thing that goes really well with the patrons love, if I may say so, the fantasy football. So we've got a couple of fantasy football leagues, including an exclusive one for patrons. And Seb's predict the score round every week. And there's prizes. I mean, what was the last prize we gave away? It was a signed Jimmy Greaves picture, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was, and we've got other ones coming up. We've got, I think, a Gaza one is going to be on offer. Got to go and get that from the post office depot, and we're going to have a few other ones as well. Some historic sort of memorabilia stuff that will be for our patrons that win these prizes. So it's just like, it's a good little community feel that we've got going on there, and we're going to give something back to those patrons that support us as well.
Absolutely. So get involved. Let's take a few comments. Hi, Cheeseheads. Good professional performance from the boys. Unusually calm viewing. Yeah. The only slight concern I have was Galini making a few daft deliverables. Yeah, what's the deal with Galini, guys, then? Let's go Franco first because he was at the game. He was a bit ropey tonight, wasn't he?
Well, it was dire, wasn't it, with that back pass? And it wasn't a great back pass as well. It was on his left foot. He had to control it. The attacker was then closing him down. Admittedly, in those situations, you're like, just get rid of it. And he tried to do some turn, even though he was about a foot off the line, wasn't he? So he just did a turn straight off out of play. So that wasn't great. But I don't know. I didn't think he was terrible, but he didn't have much to do as well. And it's always when a goalkeeper's bored and he's not really been too involved in the game, you do kind of sometimes see that they make errors when they do have to make a decision, maybe switch off a bit. But we've not seen much of him. He might be terrible. That's why we've only taken him out on loan. So I'm not too fussed because, that deal that we've done means that if he turns out to be no better than Joe Hart, then at the end of the day, we can just search for another one next season. But I still think he looks all right. In the pre-season friendlies, his shot stopping looked okay. So we'll just have to see. If his decision making is a big suspect, then we've got Mr. Hugo Lloris to teach him the error of his ways because he's a reformed character.
Yeah.
Think about what Lloris was like when he first signed for Spurs.
Absolutely, yeah. Shan, there's a couple of bits here. Romero is this is from the HG of Cheese Room. Shout out HG. Is an impulsive Alderweireld. The minerals are there, and if he curbs some of those impulses, he'll be a truly fantastic defender. I think we pretty much all agree with based on what we've seen. This is the one I'm going to give you. Rodon had Lukaku in his back pocket for Wales versus Belgium. Shout out Paul Muir. Love you, Paul. In Joe we trust. Now, Paul is probably about as passionate about Rodon as Franco is about that. What's his name? The winger,
Jack Clark.
Jack Clark. I can't remember his name.
Even smiles when he says it.
He's going on blushing.
I'm going to start a fan club. Look, at the end of the day, Paul's got more reason to be a fan of Rodon than I have Jack Clark because he's played a lot more football and he's actually done something.
Say they're related or something. Well, Shan, this is for you. Rodon, would you rate him?
I do rate him, and he had a very good Euros, and when he's played for us, he's looked the least dodgy of the three that did tend to play, other than Toby. But I just don't understand what's going on there. I don't see him getting into the squad. I know he's got a little bit of an injury at the moment, but I don't. Bar an absolute injury disaster in our back line, I don't see Rodon coming into that Chelsea game.
No.
Which is a shame because I think he's got a lot of talent and he could potentially be the future.
Well, this is the question really. Steve, Rodon, at what point does he come in? Is he just waiting for an injury? Is that the only way he's going to break into this team? Because with Romero coming in as well. Looks like Dyer and Sanchez are nailed on the first choice 2 at the moment. It's difficult to see where Rodon's going to get a game, isn't it? If he's not even getting picked for games like tonight.
Yeah, it's tricky, and there are rumours he was injured tonight. I know a few people said that both from chat and elsewhere, but there were other games when he wasn't injured and he wasn't picked. So we don't know what happens in training. We don't know how it plays out behind the scenes, but clearly Nuno hasn't got a lot of faith in him. And I think one thing Nuno's showing us all already is like players he's not a big fan of are going to come nowhere near the team. So I agree exactly what Shan said. Yeah, unless we've got an injury crisis, which touchwood we don't or won't have, I don't think he's going to play. Which is a shame because I've rated him when he has played. He's looked decent, not a world beater, but he's looked like a decent player.
Yeah, absolutely. No, I agree. I saw a question here. I can't actually find it. That's quite funny. I like Caller to get his own mug done.
Paul is on it tonight. He asked me if my shirt has seen an iron. It has never seen an iron. I can confirm that.
Does Steve look like the kind of guy who'd have the iron out? Absolutely not. He's the kind of guy who would pay someone to have the iron out. 100%. I saw someone asking if we're going to do a watch along. I can't find your comments, so I can't throw it up. But long story short, we go to a lot of the games, so it's quite difficult to do a watch along when you're at most of the games. But for the away games we can't get to, then potentially it is something we are looking at, and we'll see how it goes. Because to be honest, I don't really understand why anyone really watches. if I'm being really honest, I can't think of anything worse than watching me react to a football game. Watching HG might be entertaining. He gets very angry.
He'll just be swearing for 90 minutes. Yeah, it'd be like Arsenal fan TV. But that's the only reason you watch those things, isn't it? It's a laugh, no? Like, I'll watch Arsenal. When Arsenal have conceded a terrible goal, I am straight on Arsenal fan TV, rewinding it just to relive their, absolute shame.
Well, we'll see. We'll see what happens on that. Mark says, what do you think of the Sissoko rumours going to Watford? Try to hold back your enthusiasm. I mean, literally, Steve, you're the most enthusiastic one of all of us. How are you containing it?
Right. I think we all want him to go, but I do think we are being a bit harsh. And he does try. He's clearly worked hard for the team. Yeah, he's not a terrible player, but he hasn't worked out for the amount of money it was spent. So I really hope he goes, but I also hope he doesn't get any shit when he goes because he has worked hard for the team.
Yeah, and the problem is, and I think we mentioned it in our Slack chat before the game tonight, I think it might have been Sam that said it, that he was a bit worried about the midfield today, looked a bit lightweight. And that is the thing, is that our midfielders are not the most physical. And that's one thing that Sissoko is. He's like the strongest man in football, apparently. So he's an option in there when you need something like that. But it's just a shame he can't play football. Because ideally, if we had someone that could combine the two talents, like a Dembele used to do for us, then that would be great. But I do feel like we need some physicality in there.
Sweaty Couple's officially a patron, apparently. So well done. You made the absolute right decision.
I'll send you an email shortly.
Yeah, Frank will be in touch with a welcome email. HG says, how very dare you? I have no reason to swear now Lamella has finally gone. Oh, come on. Come on.
Lamella's going to be the league top goal scorer this season. Honestly, the boy is on fire. He even scored a goal with his right foot.
Yeah.
That can't be true.
I mean, that wonders.
It's true. In the last minute.
He scored 2 Rabonas just because he has no right foot.
wonders will literally never cease. Has Ronaldo signed for City yet? We just take a minute to appreciate how much of a shambles the City transfer issues are, because I had my Manchester City fan messaging me today yesterday when Kane put the announcement out. I thought, I'm going to ping this over to him because he's been telling me he's going to sign for City for ages, and he was not loving life. He was blaming the board, saying the board are a disaster. They've only targeted one player and ignored Messi and Ronaldo and like Danny Ings and all these other players. And the board are a disgrace. Get out of my club, City board. That wasn't quite that bad, but you know, it was pretty bad. So they're a bit of a shambles, really, aren't they, Franco? Look, they've put all their eggs in a Harry Kane-shaped basket, and they've not got an omelette.
Yeah, but if they get Ronaldo, it's just a joke, isn't it? Just a joke. And they might well do. Juve have said that they're willing to sell him. So, and he can't be that much. I know they paid like 90 million for him. What, you reckon 30? He's 36 years old.
37.
No, he's 36, I'm pretty sure. Anyway, I'm not going to argue about that. Either way, I know he's like 10 times, 100 times fitter than you or me, and we're only a few years older because he's a specimen. So like, he's probably going to be able to play at the top level for at least another 2 or 3 years, I guess. But it's just insane, like the fact that he can still command that sort of figure. But I guess just on shirt sales, etc., alone and marketability is worth it. So I can see Man City wanting that to happen, but it's weird because they will still be lacking a focal point up front.
I mean, I've got to be honest. I think we should make that happen. We did Bale last season. Why not Ronaldo? He's always dreamt of playing in the Europa Conference, hasn't he?
I'm just going to say now, I hope it doesn't happen, because then I would actually have to run down Tottenham High Road naked, and no one needs to see that. It would just be an absolute farce.
You go viral very quickly. That's what Paul says. How serious do we take this Euro? And that's stop laughing, Steve. It's a very serious subject.
I knew where your mind was at.
Is the Euro Conference the Sherpa Van Trophy of Europe? I'm not old enough to know what the Sherpa Van Trophy is, but I'm sure it's a derogatory term, so we can just take that. Shannon, how seriously do we take it?
I think we're Tottenham Hotspur. We can't really be too proud about what trophies we try and win and what ones we're not bothered about. I do think in the group stages, certainly we should give a chance, like, to our fringe players, the kids. I think if we progress out of the group stages, then we really should be trying to win it. It's a good chance of getting silverware, and once you win one trophy, who knows, we could go on and win more, because it breeds that winning mentality. So I do think we shouldn't take it lightly. I think we should respect it and we should do our best, but obviously we have got other things that the league would be more of a priority to me.
Steve, what do you think about this? Do you think the Europa Conference is something that we should go all guns blazing for? I mean, Spurs fans have been bleating on for donkeys that they want a trophy at all costs. This is one we can actually win, surely.
It is, but I think there's a middle ground. So I don't think we should go all guns blazing, but I think there's a middle ground between the team who played tonight and the team who played in the first round. Mix it up so some of the kids have a bit of a chance, but also have a few more of the experienced players in there, because why wouldn't we want to win it? As Shannon said perfectly, you win something, it gets confidence, you get used to winning, you stop being on every fucking Facebook thread on Facebook group talking about how we haven't won anything and how all our players are mugs playing for us and blah 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 blah. So we move on from that. Why wouldn't we want to win it?
Wow, I agree.
And it's I'm the accountant. It's 20 million quid. Get it in the bank. Buy another Brian Hill, however you pronounce his name. Buy another Brian.
It's not an Ori or a Sessignon, right?
No comment.
This one's for you, Franco. I know you love a scouting of a player. So we're apparently, I've seen this one tonight, we're in advanced talks with Barcelona to sign Mariba. I don't know. What's
his first name?
Lax.
You're just making noises now, aren't you? That's just a noise.
Elax? Ela? I don't know.
Where's Brendan when we need him?
You're the French expert. You tell me.
What's your question? Is he any good?
My question is, how do you say his first name, first of all?
Oh, I don't know. It's probably Ilay or something.
I feel like the X would be silent, because
X is definitely silent.
With a last name like Mariba, he's Spanish, isn't he? Is he Spanish?
No, he's from Guinea.
Oh, well.
All right. Is he any good, Franco?
Who knows, mate? Got no idea.
We're really showcasing international football knowledge here, aren't we?
No, I didn't watch any La Liga last year. I think he played a few. I don't know. I don't even think he played that much for Barca last year. But yeah, we just seem to be getting links to all these youngsters. And I don't know whether Barca are just trying to sell everybody in their team at the moment to try and just get Messi back.
Desperate to ease the wages, aren't they?
Yeah, exactly. So they're just getting rid of anyone they can, I suppose, to a certain extent. But I don't know. Like, who knows? I just think we should be, instead of just buying loads of 18-year-olds, which we seem to be doing, with everyone we've been linked to in the last week is like 18 or 19 years old. And it's a bit stupid. I think we need someone in the midfield who's experienced and capable. And I don't think just taking punts on youngsters is what we need to be doing right now. It's certainly, if we get one of those players in by the end of the window, I don't see that as a success. I think we need some real proven quality in.
And who is that?
Huh?
Who?
What, sorry?
Who do I want?
Yeah.
Oh, is that what you're asking? I missed all that. Sorry. Yeah, go on.
Wait, she just shouted it. Conrad Lima.
Is that who you want, Franco?
Someone of that magnitude, definitely. I think it needs to be someone that good. And the thing is, Lima's probably a level down as well. He's a very capable player and he's experienced. But I think we could easily get him if we went out there and tried to.
How many times have you seen him play?
Just being
At least 6.
At least 6.
Yeah,
I'll give you that.
Goaded, man. Shout out Cody. Hope your evening's going well. Kivic. Sheila.
I'm just going to go and make a cup of tea while you figure out how to pronounce his surname, shall I?
Told you, Sheila. Anyway, I wanted to come to this one. What kind of reception will Rose get on Sunday? What are you going to do when you see Danny Rose on the pitch? Then, Franco, you gonna cheer him?
Yeah, I'll cheer Danny Rose. I've got no hard feeling with Danny Rose. I felt a bit sorry for him, and I felt he looks a bit stupid in the end. But yeah, I've got no problems with Danny Rose, and I think someone that played for that long for Spurs and was involved in so many memorable games. By all means, give him a big round of applause.
I always remember him, holding the Heineken up after the Champions League semi.
Yeah, that's a very good memory you've got from like 2 years ago, caller.
Well, there's obviously.
I remember when I were a lad.
I just remember the good times. It was good times when him and Walker were bobbing up and down the flanks. That's for absolute certainty. They were fantastic. And obviously, then there's his debut goal, which everyone likes to trot out. But those are too cheap. I went for something that involved alcohol.
I mean, to be fair to Caller, that was our last good time as a club, wasn't it?
Pretty much.
It was, yeah.
Last bit of joy I had watching Tottenham Hotspur.
It was our last good shout. So I'm going to thank you all now and wrap the show up. Steve, thanks very much for joining me this evening.
Thank you very much. I'm going to go get my lemon sip and go off to bed, I think.
Beautiful. That sounds lovely. Shan, once again, thank you. You will be back again tomorrow. So this is just a little show was designed to be a little show, 50-minute little show to get to talk about the game tonight. But we are back tomorrow talking transfers, weekend preview. We've got some guests joining us. So please do tune in for that. Like, subscribe, share. YouTube, we're going great guns at the moment. And Shan, thanks for joining me tonight. I'll see you tomorrow.
Thanks for having me. As always, I'll see you tomorrow.
No problem at all. Franco, thanks for unexpectedly hijacking the room. It's always good to see your sweaty face.
Yeah, no worries. Cheers for everyone for watching. Much appreciated. Don't forget to subscribe, like, all that game.
Don't forget to... Yeah, all that.
What the hell's this?
That was the thumbs up. The thumbs
Wallace
up.
or Gromit, I'm not sure which one. In the meantime, come on, you Spurs.
Come on, you Spurs.
Go on, Steve.
Oh, you wanted me to do it as well?
I want you to do it in the most...
No, Steve.
Mate, I sit in the posh seats to let you guys make all the noise.
Go on, let's see it.
Come on, you Spurs. I do know how to do it.